What do you do when the most powerful man in your industry looks you in the eye and tells you to go back to your field? And you know he's wrong. This is the story of how a tractor manufacturer, a man with zero background in supercar engineering, sat down with Enzo Ferrari, got told he wasn't qualified to own a Ferrari, let alone criticize one, and walked out of that room with a plan. 18 months later, he unveiled a car whose mid-engine architecture, whose fundamental engineering infrastructure, is still the template for every high-performance machine built today, Ferrari included. This is the Lamborghini Miura. And if you think you already know this story, stay with me. Because the engineering decisions inside this car changed the entire trajectory of the performance industry. And almost nobody talks about why. By 1963, Ferruccio Lamborghini was not a poor man. He'd built one of Italy's most successful tractor companies from nothing. Post-war scrap metal, brilliant mechanical instinct, relentless optimization of every system he touched. He was also, by his own admission, a Ferrari obsessive. He owned several. He drove them hard. And he noticed something that bothered him deeply: the clutch. Specifically, the clutch on his 250 GT kept failing. He'd had it replaced. It kept failing. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Ferruccio, being an engineer, looked at the problem and realized the clutch Ferrari was using in their road cars was essentially the same component he used in his tractors. His tractors. So he did what any confident engineer would do. He drove to Maranello. He asked to speak to Enzo Ferrari directly. He explained the issue. And Enzo famously told him, "A tractor manufacturer has no business telling Ferrari how to build sports cars. Go back to your field." Most men go home. Ferruccio didn't go home. Ferruccio Lamborghini had already been quietly assembling something. He'd hired Giotto Bizzarini, the man who designed Ferrari's legendary GTO, away from Maranello. He'd recruited Gian Paolo Dallara, a 26-year-old chassis engineer, and Paolo Stanzani, who would become one of the most important automotive architects of the 20th century. Their brief? Build a 3.9-liter V12, better than Ferrari's, from scratch, in months, not years. Bizzarini delivered 370 horsepower on the bench. But here's where Dallara and Stanzani made a decision that changed everything. Instead of mounting the V12 longitudinally, the way every other supercar did it, they turned it sideways, transversely mounted, behind the driver, with the gearbox housed directly in the engine sump, sharing the same oil. This compressed the entire drivetrain into the shortest possible footprint. It moved the weight to the center of the car. The handling leverage this created, the optimization of mass distribution, was unlike anything a road car had achieved, ever. This wasn't a styling exercise. It was a fundamental rethink of what a high-performance car's architecture could be. By late 1965, they had a rolling chassis, no body, no finished interior, just the mechanical heart of the most important sports car ever built. And Ferruccio, with the nerve of a man who had absolutely nothing to lose, booked a stand at the 1965 Geneva Motor Show. The chassis, alone, on a rotating stand. No body, no paint, just the engineering. The crowd didn't just look. They stopped. They stared. Orders came in before the car had a roof. And that is exactly when Bertone called. Now, Nuccio Bertone had seen the chassis, and he had an idea about what the body needed to look like. He sent a 26-year-old designer named Marcello Gandini to Sant'Agata. What Gandini drew in a matter of weeks was something that had never existed. A body so low it looked like it was designed by someone who had never accepted the laws of physics as final. Marcello Gandini was 26 years old. He had produced designs before, but nothing like this. The Miura's body was 42 inches tall, lower than most racing cars of the era. The rear haunches were wider than the front. The entire surface curved in ways that shouldn't have been aerodynamically coherent, but were. When the completed Miura P400 debuted at Geneva in March 1966 with the body on, the automotive press didn't review it. They ran out of words. Road and Track called it the most beautiful car ever built. The waiting list formed before a single press test was completed, and the performance matched the promise. 350 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds, a top speed of 171 miles per hour. In 1966, when the fastest Ferrari road car could barely crack 150, when most sports cars were still front-engined, heavy, and required a racing driver's skill set to exploit, the Miura was different. The mid-engine layout that Dallara and Stanzani had engineered meant the weight balance was so precise, so optimized, that Miura owners reported handling characteristics that felt almost supernatural for the era. Here's what most people never tell you about the Miura. Ferrari, the company that told Ferruccio to go back to his field, spent the years following the Miura's launch quietly, urgently, redesigning their entire range. The 365 GT4 Berlinetta Boxer launched in 1973, mid-engine. The Ferrari Testarossa, mid-engine. The Ferrari F40, F50, Enzo, LaFerrari, all mid-engine. Porsche's 918, McLaren's entire road car program, Bugatti's Veyron and Chiron. Every single one of them uses a layout pioneered by a 26-year-old chassis engineer in a small factory in Sant'Agata Bolognese, because a tractor manufacturer got told he wasn't qualified to own a Ferrari. The Miura also gave us something else, a cultural moment that hadn't existed before. The idea that a car could be a genuine work of art. Not just transport, not just performance. Steve McQueen drove one. The Italian Job opening sequence, that iconic mountain road, the Miura, the music, was filmed with a real P400. It wasn't just cinema. It was the car telling you who you were if you drove it. Only 764 were ever built. In a world of digital scarcity and manufactured exclusivity, 764 real cars, each one hand-assembled, each one slightly different. Today, a Miura P400 SV trades for over £2.5 million at auction. Not because it's fast by modern standards, because it changed everything, and everyone who understands engineering knows it. Ferruccio Lamborghini never went back to his field. He built something instead. Something so perfectly engineered, so ruthlessly optimized for the driver, that 60 years later, The industry still hasn't found a reason to do it differently. The Miura P400, the car that shouldn't have existed. The car that made everything else possible. If you want to understand every Lamborghini that came after this, every V12, every mad decision, every car that made the world stop and stare, this is where you start. Right here. 1966. But Lamborghini wasn't satisfied. In 1971, they took everything you just saw and they made it wider, heavier on the rear, more aggressive at speed. They removed the rear spoiler and the car got faster. If you think the P400 was extraordinary, the SV is something else entirely. That's next.